This guy.
Me? He's the one that told you to.
This guy, man.
Why do we always blame me?
It's the PC, dog. Anyways, welcome. For the first time in this long journey, it is us, the Way Better NPCs. Not from our homes, from our computer screens, but in real life, here to talk to you about E3 and, of course, the Xbox conference.
Yes.
I haven't really been following too much about the stuff pre-conference, so if you guys want to give some quick thoughts.
You've watched the most of the pre-conference, so...
Alright, let me strap it.
Oh wait, we're picking the wrong guy for Xbox. Never mind,
no,
we'll start
pre-Xbox.
We start pre-Xbox.
Let's go pre.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what Xbox, pre-Xbox. What the E3 has felt like so far is like a 5th grade talent show where everybody's welcome to get up on stage and perform. And you got some great singers, but then you got the kid who belches the alphabet and he only gets through D. Like,
He only gets through D.
He's still honing his craft.
Just because there's a stage doesn't mean you need to go up on it.
That's valid.
And like
Fair.
Gearbox, Koch Media, maybe you shouldn't have got up on stage because those are some pretty awful shows. On the flip side, you know, we had Ubisoft kind of going something different with their forward this year as opposed to their normal full conference. It was a little shorter.
Before you go, I love that they had 2 people of color as their host, though. That was really awesome for me.
No, that's it's, definitely something that was cool. Is both people, Yusef, who is connected to Belinda Garcia. They're awesome. It's a great host. But yeah, after I shit on a bunch of things, you bring up. I was going down, and now I have to like act like I'm excited. No, Ubisoft was good.
We're Greg in the hot seat.
The opener with Jeff Keighley was good. We had Elden Ring
Jeff
and things
Keighley
like
did
that.
a good job.
But what I'd say this year is we're getting a show that indies are thriving with Guerrilla Collective.
A lot of good indies you saw
and
at
the things
E3
that
so
are
far.
popping out in these kind of in-between pieces of the show. But from our big heavy hitters, I've been a little disappointed, and I think that might lead into my take on Xbox too. So, does anyone else have thoughts on E3 at large?
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna show Elden Ring though, that's like the Twitter stopped, right? Like that broke Twitter with everyone that I follow at least talking about Elden Ring. I mean, even Ryan Reynolds was talking about Elden Ring in the press conference. He even like made a joke about how we haven't got it or whatever, and like how people should be hyped for it. So that was like so far the best thing. And there was like a indie stop motion game too that looked really, really cool. I don't know if you guys saw that one. I forgot the name of it, but it looked really, really awesome.
To me, outside of Elden Ring, which I'm not like big on the series, there wasn't much that was like. And Wednesday or Thursday up until the weekend, it's not meant to wow you. So I'll give them the pass there, but like they always put 1 or 2 things that will wow you. And Elden Ring was the wow factor for your, what was it, Thursday or Friday? I don't remember what day it was to be exact. So, like Greg said, it wasn't anything exciting, anything special so far, leading into Bethesda Xbox's conference that we just watched. So I don't know if, again, Rob said he didn't really watch it. Amit, you touched Elden Rings.
Yeah.
I wish I was playing Final Fantasy 14.
Greg is playing Final Fantasy 14 instead of playing or watching E3.
I was watching.
But into today, Sunday,
Time is the only
we
luxury.
finally got Bethesda. They're welcome to the ecosystem of Xbox and what we have coming, what we've announced 5 years ago, and we finally showed you something. Obviously exclusives, a lot of indie games, as Greg said. They opened with something I don't think many of us expected in our prediction video, which only 8 of you watched, F off. We all predicted that Halo would open, correct?
Yeah.
Because we weren't going to end this show with Halo.
Yeah.
And we need to talk about how they ended the show as well.
I wish they ended the show with Halo.
Yeah, that would have been the way.
We opened up with Starfield, which everybody here has been, I don't know how excited for, but we want to know more about it. We know nothing about it but the title.
Which would have made sense to end with that,
Now
or possibly
we know
Halo.
the aesthetic.
And now we know the aesthetic of the game, which if you're Greg O'Connor, you knew where the game was going to be placed, and you know that you're a astronaut.
Starfield has a spaceship. Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
we saw the female main character. I don't even know if it's the main character. It could just be a cutscene and that they just showed. And they showed a lot of detail in the spaceship, possible new engine, or it could just be another CGI cutscene, which I wouldn't doubt. They're in a spaceship. They're showing the details of the spaceship. She sits in the cockpit. The ship takes off. You see the date and the name of the game. That's Starfield. So I don't know if you guys have much more to say about Starfield there. That
I mean, we got a date, which is huge,
We got a
right?
date,
November 11th, 2022.
and you're going to see the gameplay at E3 2022.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Starfield's date was the most exciting part of the conference, I
Yeah.
think. Like,
Oh, no.
yeah.
The most exciting thing of the whole conference, or just
Yeah.
this part? More than Halo.
Yeah.
you were more
Wow.
excited about that date than that Halo montage.
Yeah.
Okay, we will get to the Halo montage.
Like, I think it's cool that we have a date for this, which finally Bethesda has a new RPG. We're hoping it's a new engine. I thought we might know. We might see something that would say that it's definitely a new engine, but it has to be, because look at how much better it looks than Fallout 76, which it runs.
wait. We are saving Fallout 76
I'm
to
just
when we
saying,
get
I'm
there.
comparing. I'm talking about Starfield.
But they got a new engine allegedly.
But it's got to be a new engine. I'm excited about that game. That's the only game that Halo that I am super excited about on the Xbox side that we know about, and I think the date was a pretty big reveal. I don't think it's a closer like we talked about initially, but I
It would
think
have been a closer if they had gameplay.
that was exciting. It was a cool way to
Agreed.
show it.
Yeah.
Disappointed that all we saw was a CGI cutscene showing
That's
not
all
what the
you've had
game's
to show,
about.
yeah.
Not are we
Totally.
fighting aliens, or are we just exploring, or is it like
No Man's
intergalactic
Sky?
politics? What is it?
But for-
No,
but
it's
for
a
all-
spaceship.
But for
There's
all
a spaceship in the space game.
But for all
Wow.
those reasons, that's why I don't know how, like, just the date is the biggest, like, oh my god, of the whole conference, though. Right? Like,
It's the only piece of information that was new that we got.
You know what? I know how this is gonna go. Me and Amit are gonna wear the capes today.
we'll be on this, that's why we're on this side.
I'm trying to be different. I mean, I'm not as bad as Greg at that. But that was Starfield. It was very lackluster.
It was underwhelming because
Yeah.
For a
we did
game that
expect to
we-
see more than
right,
that.
exactly.
But I wouldn't call it the most
You
exciting thing
should've-
of the whole thing.
No.
In
Like,
my-
because for
start-
me, I think it was great just because of the fact that this whole thing has been shrouded in mystery. Like before this, we got a title screen, right? And then we got Jeff Grubb saying, "Oh yeah, it's exclusive. Oh, it's not exclusive. Oh, it is exclusive." We've got, "Oh, it's coming this year. It's coming early next year." Like I think the best part about Starfield's thing for me was like clarity. Like
Yep.
this game is a Series S and X exclusive, not even on Xbox One, and it is coming out the end of next year on this date. I think that's the most impactful part about that whole thing for me. But like the CGI trailer, like yeah, it wasn't anything special. Like I said, it's an aesthetic, you know, because sometimes they get a little cartoony with space. We're going realistic space.
Yeah.
You know, so we know an aesthetic, but it's not actual, like you're valid. Like
So my
you
last-
don't know shit about it still.
I guess my like fear about the way they do it is it's already people's ideas are running wild. We talked about this in our prediction.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, is this Mass Effect like on steroids? Is this gonna be Mass Effect No Man's Sky where you can explore anything, do anything? Like maybe rein in like
Yeah.
give us
Give us
focus
something.
so we don't cyberpunk the hype out of this.
yeah,
thing.
I was gonna
Like,
say, I think
focus
that's the
in.
danger, but I think also to, from their track record, they're not typically one to show a bunch of times. Like Fallout 4 was like, hey guys, Fallout 4 is a thing and it's coming out this fall.
Yeah.
You know, like that's why I was
But
so
like-
convinced it was coming early, because I was like, oh yeah,
Fallout
like,
is
they're
always
showing
only
it to
giving
us.
Yeah.
you.
But
They're
it's
gonna
Fallout,
make it
agree,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
It
I'm
is,
saying, that's what I'm saying. That's what,
Fallout was Fallout.
yeah, they're probably
This
giving it an
is
extra
new.
year because of that. Like,
When- okay,
if
this
it
is-
was a Fallout, it'd be like, oh yeah, it's coming out here.
We got to get off Starfield because we could talk about this forever. But my last point of
I
this:
agree with
when did they announce Starfield? When was the first time we got the?
2018?
Was it 18
With
or
the name?
19?
Yeah,
One of the two.
2018.
So maybe
2019, yeah.
this is too close for me to be asking this.
17, wasn't it?
And if it's
I don't know, I
17,
don't
you're
think it was
giving me
17.
more.
But it was just a
18 or
title.
19, but
yeah.
it's a title.
My
I don't
thing
remember which
is,
one,
yes, the CGI cinematic is expected, but with how long they've gone without showing anything, either they should have given you what this game is about, what you're going to be doing, where they bring out the guy in the studio just to say it for 2 to 5 minutes
I was
and
expecting
be done
that.
with that, or there should have been a minute to 3 minutes in-game footage, not showing much, but that would explain what you're doing.
But here,
And that would give you the idea of the game.
here's the counterpunch though: is with Nintendo doing their directs and Sony doing their state of plays, Microsoft and Xbox have been way more transparent on things leading up to games coming out.
Yeah,
and I think this is part of their new strategy as it gets closer to Starfield. They're going to put out more things about Starfield. They're going to show more. They're going to do really in-depth things. Like right now, they're doing it with Halo, like Infinite. With every month, they're putting out blog posts. They're putting out photos. They're putting out this. When the holiday comes, they're gonna ramp it up. And I think that right now, it's let's just give you an quote-unquote understanding, right? But we're gonna show you a CGI because we've never shown you even a CGI trailer for this, right? So let's show you this. And then as we get into next year, that's going to be our big focus. Right now, our big focus is Halo. We want to show you Halo up to it. We want to show you Forza by the time that it comes out. We're going to do Forza, Halo. Then next year, we're going to go into Starfield. So I just think it's them being more transparent, getting closer to the date rather than right now.
That's fair.
Just like for it to be one of the two things on your logo. Starfield and Halo.
We started. We're like, oh yeah. Our prediction was like, oh yeah, these two things are gonna get a lot of time,
like 30 minutes each.
Yeah, and this thing got
and it got the 5-minute
2 minutes.
Yeah, not even 5 minutes.
Like, did it? How much more? Like, and this is no much bigger of a step forward than the title screen.
Right.
It's like the title screen, 30 seconds of in-engine CGI footage, like. It's just nothing. It's still nothing.
And that's where I'm mad.
Exciting.
So being done with Starfield, that's where I'm mad that we got what felt like 30 minutes of Stalker 2. It was like it was 10 minutes. The next thing they showed was literally a 20-minute, maybe not 20, 10-minute cutscene. In-game cutscene of Stalker 2.
Yeah, I think when we were watching, we said they're showing every cutscene of this game.
You could literally, you know everything about the game already, and you saw the in-game footage. So Stalker 2 was
Chernobyl's just hot right now.
Chernobyl is hot.
Chernobyl is hot right now.
Yeah, so when we watched that, Chernobyl's hot right now. Every studio's got a Chernobyl game. You know, the Chernobyl guys who did the TV show are doing The Last of Us. Chernobyl's hot right now. But again, yeah, pour one out for my interest in this conference. Stalker 2 release, because that was way.
Does anybody have anything to say on Stalker 2?
Has anybody here played the first one?
No.
Because one of my friends in like this Discord was actually excited about it, so I didn't know if like. They're like, oh, this looks hot. And I was like,
my guess is
Chernobyl is hot.
Like, I don't know shit about
80%
Stalker, so that's
sitting
why
around a
like,
campfire talking in Russian.
The Stalker 2 last year, the cinematic that they showed last year, just like
better.
The people coming in like co-op or whatever, like the 4 guys, that looked way better.
That was more
than
interesting
what I
than
just
actually
saw today.
seeing what the game was.
Yeah.
I don't know anything. I was asking.
Okay, so we don't have
the
much.
final boss is Putin. I'm not playing.
No, it's Gorbachev at that point, right?
Well,
Whoever. Baby Putin is who you fight. You have to stop Baby Putin.
stop Baby Putin.
Yeah, from becoming a thing.
He scores 7 hockey goals on you, and you got
Shirtless.
Next, I mean, it was like one mediocre, which you wanted to be more hyped about, to disappointing, to then Back for Blood, which they're doing at 2 o'clock, a whole thing about. They'll probably show more in depth the engine.
And had it not leaked, the Game Pass announcement on day 1 would have been so much of a heavy hitter right now for Back for Blood, but it leaked early because people on YouTube at Microsoft or at WB or whatever don't know what they're doing, and that's their bad. But had it not leaked, it would have been big news because so many people are excited for that game.
Feels like another year of leaks. Like, it feels like everything we're hearing is like we know something about it. We know what we're gonna see.
Yeah.
It's very hard to find that very exciting moment.
Yeah.
But Back for Blood just feels, and I feel like we're gonna talk about a few more of these games where it's just we've heard about them all weekend. We're gonna keep hearing about them. How many times do we need to see this game?
Yeah.
I'm excited. This is a cool game. It's exciting, but like. I'm glad they kept it short.
Back for Blood is going to be a game you guys see us play. Yeah. We'll definitely be playing that together.
Especially since it's on Game Pass.
And on the Game Pass thing, that's the thing is this whole conference was the advertisement for Game Pass, right?
They did like definitely felt
over
like
30 games or whatever with just
this
every
was the
Game Pass.
I'm proving to you Game Pass is worth it moment.
Absolutely.
So I very much felt that way.
Get Game Pass.
There are a bunch of other games that we saw. I'm going to read them. We're not going to talk about everything here, obviously. The next game, you guys stop me when you feel like there's a game, if I skip over it, that we don't need to talk about.
I will.
Need to talk about. They showed a new indie game, Contraband.
No, that's a first party.
Is that a first party?
Yeah, first party
they didn't show
co-op,
much
open
about it,
world.
but, yeah.
I don't feel like that's one we need to get deep into.
Well, I mean, we don't
Well,
really
they
know
didn't
anything
get
about
deep
it.
into
Yeah,
it,
so they showed the name, they showed a little bit. Sea of Thieves DLC was next with Jack Sparrow.
Who
I
cares?
have an issue
Yeah.
with this.
Who cares?
Why would you add Jack Sparrow when you have a cast of pirates in One Piece that you could add? No,
You're not doing the One Piece thing.
Subscribe to his other
Christ.
videos. You'll get all about it.
All right, go
You
ahead.
get a whole the next thing after Sea of Thieves.
Oh,
It was
man.
a Yakuza collection on Game Pass now.
Like a dragon.
Cool.
Now.
And like
Yeah.
a dragon, yeah, it's coming.
Very, very cool to see.
I was hoping they would
was heavy on
transition that into
PS4, now
Persona. I was like, oh, they're gonna
PS5,
say it.
now on
They didn't.
Xbox Game Pass. The next thing was Battlefield gameplay footage. It looked like Battlefield, futuristic,
Looked
crazy, blown
but I
up.
don't
We don't need to
play
do a
that.
think piece on that. I'm sure you guys
But
will.
not Game
announced
Pass, though.
Game-
Not Game
they
Pass.
didn't
no, I
announce
don't
That was the only
So
one. I
maybe
didn't
it's
have the
not on
Pass
Game
on.
Pass. So maybe I have to buy the game. Shit. The next one is a smaller game, but we've seen at a previous conference that a lot of us are interested in. 12 minutes, guys stuck in a loop. A lot of things happen.
Phenomenal.
Santino is not happy about Daisy Ridley.
are not canceling
he
me
did
on
not
our own
like
channel.
That Daisy Ridley was a female lead in Star Wars,
Yeah.
and he is pushing against her lead in 12 minutes.
Is she not? She's not the lead though.
In Star Wars?
No, in 12 minutes.
She is. She's billed with James McAvoy and Willem Dafoe.
I'm
It's so
kidding about
silly.
that. Santino had no problem with
All right,
Daisy Ridley.
so we were
in Star
talking
Wars.
about, but
I have a problem with all of you guys that, and then you're probably, we weren't on Twitter during the conference. I tweeted 2 things and I closed my app. You guys are all
he's defending
probably
himself.
mad about Starfield having a female lead character and da 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 da, with Xbox doing that, and I don't know if PlayStation is doing any female leads in their games. But that's
Aloy.
that's the oh yeah, Aloy.
Returnal,
They were
Last
so
of Us.
they were so mad when
Returnal,
Aloy
Last of
was Aloy was so boring. That's where
Uncharted
Greg's
Lost Legacy.
joke comes from. So that's 12 minutes. 12 minutes looks great.
12 minutes looks
no,
fire.
we were
And it
talking-
has
yeah.
a date, right? In August.
It did get a
Yeah,
date.
it got a
Yes,
date.
end of the summer.
No, we were talking. 12 minutes thing came up earlier before we even started the conference because we were talking about how Xbox didn't have like a roguelite or something with like a loop at all, except for 12 minutes, and then we saw the extra gameplay or whatever. So yeah, we were talking about Hades, we were talking about Returnal,
Yeah,
and then 12
Hades,
minutes
yeah,
comes
Hades.
out. So we were talking about, hey, like this is their way of getting like an indie game.
Game Pass, right?
That's
Day
going to be
one.
Game Pass,
Yeah.
so I'm really excited to play it, especially it's from Annapurna, right? Or A21, one of them.
Annapurna.
Annapurna, and they're
Yeah.
just quality. So
No, they do great games.
yeah.
It is weird that we
No, you're
feel
good.
like you're missing a roguelite. We talked about that, like not the type of game that you feel like needs to be a staple in your repertoire, but now they have Hades and they have 12 minutes.
Yeah,
so
it's coming.
they added,
So-
they added
So
there.
that 12
We
minutes
move on
is
now.
the one that all of us will probably play. Excited
He'll probably
about.
play for 12 minutes, and then we'll probably play for longer.
No, I'll play that.
You have so many games to play.
But if that's not going to be like a game
I
that
know.
takes up all your time. I'll
He's
play
going to be
that.
playing with his Battlefield collectible trophy.
Yeah, or his Forza.
Forza car next to
Hey,
it.
unboxing video coming, guys. Don't worry. Don't worry. Next one was Psychonauts 2. Amit has touched on Psychonauts in previous videos.
Yeah, I think it's smart to release it in August.
Yeah.
Get it away from Ratchet and Clank because Ratchet and Clank is just gonna dominate
Take the
things
shine,
for
yeah,
a while,
as it
and
should.
it's top polish. But you know, I think that's gonna come to everything, but Xbox first, and I think that it's really creative. And I hope everyone gives it a shot. But I think that it's got a lot of cool aesthetics, and I think it's gonna have a really good story like the first one did. So.
Rob?
Oh, I haven't played the first one, but I am excited for it. I recently, like, again, playing like indie games, I've like refound my love for platform games. Like, grew up on them, but like completely stopped playing them in my teenage years because I was shooting things. So that's cool.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, no, platforming games are like really like solid, like still, like so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it.
Cool game. Glad it's out there. Probably won't play it. Next.
Greg and I really enjoyed this next, I guess, game that has been around for 3-4 years now that needs to go away. Fallout 76. We got 2 new DLCs in Fallout 76.
Don't care.
Who cares?
I truly wish we had the
Agreed.
reaction of Greg thinking the second DLC for Fallout 76 was the new Fallout.
You don't end the trailer for Fallout 76 expansion, then show the pit.
Another expansion.
I was like, are we going to the pit as a main setting? What are we doing?
So,
More
Fallout 76.
Screw you, Fallout 76.
The boo. It's
Oh,
just
and
iconic.
Greg had a big
Give us
boo
5.
there.
Boo.
Boo.
Next
Boo,
one
I was
was
saying Boo Earns.
Elder Scroll Online's DLC, was it?
It wasn't Final Fantasy 14, so I don't care.
That's facts. That's facts.
Elder Scrolls stuff.
We're running through that. Elder Scrolls, none of us plays Elder Scrolls, so the next one was a cute little game you can play with your friends, party animals, you throw
It looks cute.
people off the
That's
map. There's
Looks
a current
fun.
game out that's like that. I don't know what it's called though.
Look cool.
Hades is coming to Xbox.
Play it, so
Awesome.
great.
Play it. We've talked about it. Somerville. I don't remember.
Oh yeah, that was the one we thought that looked like Inside and Limbo.
Oh
from
yeah,
Blade.
that
Oh,
one.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Super cool.
Was that the one with the needle gun?
Yeah, when you're no, that
No.
was
that
a
Somerville?
different one. That was a
No.
different one.
Okay, that was a different
This
one.
one looked cool. This one looked cool.
So
I'll
at
give
that
this a try.
point, we are at literally the middle of the show, and where
Yeah.
you wouldn't really expect. Well, no, some of you did say before the show started you showed in the middle, but it wasn't as in depth as we wanted it to be. Halo Infinite finally coming, holiday 2021.
See, like, I wasn't on board with it not coming out this year until that moment, because I'm like, if it's like your next thing and you got these other dates, like, that's the first time I've been like, maybe it won't make it. So like, that's
See,
to you.
This is where I hear
Bottle of
what-
whiskey and a cigar from Santino if it doesn't make this year.
This is where I would have put either the Forza or I would have put the closer, the arcane.
And we need to talk about Forza.
That's where this would have gone, because I think this should have closed the show.
So
Yeah.
again, you got a Master Chief. Before we give our, we need to talk about what they showed. Master Chief is grabbing stuff through space, gets on a ship.
It looked cool.
You hear Cortana.
Visor
Not
reflect.
Cortana.
No, you heard her first, and
Was
then
it the same
he-
voice?
Yes, I think it's the same voice.
It was the
but
same
yeah,
voice.
it wasn't. So you thought it
And
was.
then he thought it was her.
We're outside, guys.
The hologram pops up, and he goes, "Where's Cortana?" You spent all of 4 looking for Cortana.
Wait, you guys thought it was Cortana? Remember, you guys who thought it was Kat Dennings here?
him?
Yeah. So you can't sound like Cortana.
But no,
Kat Dennings.
no. Listen, before we get to the Kat Dennings thing,
Please.
it started as Cortana, and the voice shifted
Okay.
when he saw the
Okay.
hologram.
We're outside, guys.
So we're outside. I don't know what that means.
We outside.
But once that new hologram showed up, you saw it wasn't Cortana. The info was that Cortana was being replaced, and he took her. He was supposed to take her to Infinite,
And he can't remember.
to dispose of her, and he can't remember. So Master Chief has Alzheimer's, and you're
not what's
going back to get his memory. It's literally what you might do. You're gonna track down.
It's his theory. I like it.
You have to
I'm
track
cool with
down
it.
what happened. That's gonna be the whole game.
Yeah, we're gonna find out why we have this
It's
imposter.
an infinite loop.
Oh.
He has
He's in
amnesia.
an he
a
has
ring.
And then
amnesia.
he gets on the ship that lands on, the Covenant takedown.
Here
You're
we
back
go.
to Halo 1.
In pieces.
The loop.
Reddit. Here we
That's
go.
the road
Here.
here. Halo is
Here.
Halo
See,
loop.
it's an infinite loop. 12 minutes of Halo.
Damn, put us
Damn.
on the team. We're writers now.
But if anyone understands what's going on in the Halo story, raise
Let
your
us
hand.
know. Right.
Explain it in the comments.
There was,
I don't.
I will say, last year before they put out before the June conference last year for Xbox, there's a guy who put out and IGN even said this is really good. We're gonna put it on our thing.
A thin piece of what the story is?
It's the whole story. It's like 30 minutes long, and they do an in-depth thing. So we can try to find that at
Okay.
some point. But
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I will have to watch that. But how do we feel about them going? Like last time it was like, look at this sweet gameplay, open world, all
Yeah.
this, and now they're like, let's just show a cutscene.
Well, they
rumor
showed the
was-
world.
Yeah,
Remember,
the
they popped
rumor
in
was
real quick.
Colt Eastwood.
They showed the
said-
trees, and then the.
Oh, a CGI.
Okay, well,
Yeah,
they showed
over.
it.
No,
No.
I think that
It's not gameplay.
Yeah, Colt Eastwood, notable YouTuber. He's really, really good. Check out his stuff if you haven't seen it.
Wait, whoa, we're not plugging people
No.
unless you're watching
No,
our stuff.
It's good stuff.
Don't go watch.
Maybe
Don't
we'll get
go
him on the
don't
show
go
one
watch
day.
those
His
people.
sources.
Yeah,
Come on
Gran
now.
Torino over here.
Yeah.
Clint Eastwood.
No,
Anyways,
he,
go
so he said
me,
that
go
he said
me.
the visuals were not top tier
It's not
quality.
meant to be
They're
top
good,
tier.
but not top tier, right? Like anything, like Last of Us is going to be not like cinematics like that we're talking about.
That's not what I'm attacking.
But maybe
He's
they're
saying-
not going to show it
Yeah.
because
I'm saying they got scared.
Oh, probably.
maybe.
Like
But
I think here's the thing. Like I think
it looks good.
They did what they. I feel like they're making smart decisions because for the last 2 displays of Halo prior to this, we always seen him and that one dude, whoever that dude is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And we didn't see that dude in this. We saw
the fake Diego Luna.
yeah. we
Right?
saw
That's what I think of.
Yeah, so we saw this time we saw Master Chief and what we thought was Cortana, and we got it talking about Cortana. So now we're grounding our story in the actual characters we care about instead of
Yeah.
trying to invest in somebody else.
Into new characters.
good change, yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
like
I think they're understanding what people want to see and trying to adjust. Like I don't know if they
They're going back to the roots.
I don't know if they scrapped dude altogether. I don't know what the story, but they're leaning into that more in their display, which
Right.
is
That's
makes,
a great point. Going
Yeah.
back to the roots. I just wish we should have seen a little more.
Me
Are
too.
they still doing that open world style game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, the blog post that came out said it's not super open world, right? It's more
said,
like God of War style.
Initially,
open
they
world.
said
So
they
linear
wanted to be
open
able to do
world.
the whole ring,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then they realized they couldn't.
They honed it in.
That's
have,
like you're getting
segments.
into this, like, Xbox is giving these great blog posts and being transparent, but like, this is the time to be like, here's
But they're
the
going to
game.
be leading up to that. I mean,
But
they're
like,
going to do more
who's
like
reading
state of
those blog
play type
posts?
thing.
Like, even us who are into it, you're reading them.
I was gonna say Omid is reading
Well,
it.
what
But,
I do is I go on kind of funny and I'm like, here, they summarized it for me.
Yeah, but like, I just don't think that's like a very being transparent through a very niche way of communicating isn't being that transparent. Like where you're the masses of people and even watching E3, like we're still like the smaller percentage of the population.
People are just seeing this and they don't know that it hasn't changed
Yeah.
or
Right.
anything. I
Like-
got you.
Is it still going up?
I don't know.
I think so, yeah.
I don't know.
So Halo to go past Halo. One, it didn't open. We all thought it would open. Two, it was in a weird middle.
Didn't close either.
They didn't bring out like the big bosses to say this is what's coming with Halo. This is what you're getting from Halo. They did you're getting the free multiplayer. You're getting on a Game Pass day one, and you get the story as well.
And the multiplayer looks sick.
Multiplayer looks sick.
The most
Multiplayer
hype
was
thing
wild,
I
dog.
got from this conference by Microsoft was the montage
Yeah.
of Halo, because Halo always has the best montage.
You can't dual wield,
Not last
but you
year.
got to grapple.
People
And the
not last
grapple
year.
was
Not last year.
amazing.
Pissed about grappling hook. in
Well,
multiplayer.
grappling hook
not Halo.
when it
Not
comes to
Halo.
every shooter, everybody's mad about. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know if we still had jetpacks, but that was the last thing. So Halo was in the middle. Halo didn't give you too much, didn't give you too little. Halo just told you.
I do
it's
agree with
coming.
you to an extent because of the fact that the game is supposed to come out this year. We like don't know much campaign wise.
Sure.
And like so like I do.
No. We
understand.
know it's epic. Is
Yeah,
what they
that's
said.
all we know.
Epic
Yeah.
campaign.
So like I
Greg's
do.
eyes just rolled
Yeah,
to
I know.
another
I know. Yeah.
universe.
I'm using
So like
literal what
I
they
know,
said.
I
Here's the thing: if they had like the thing with
Not
like
at you,
Xbox is
eh?
like if they like had a reliable thing like
how
the
my
state of
wife's
play or
eyes
the Nintendo
rolled.
Directs, then I'd be like, oh, it's fine. We'll get a Halo Direct or something. You know. But,
Halo Direct.
No, I'm saying like no, like
Yeah.
like
No,
Waypoint.
we will. We
Waypoint.
for
We'll
sure
get a
will.
Halo waypoint.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not.
That's what
I'm
I'm
not
saying, like-
discarding that. I'm
like,
laughing because
and
that's
we are gonna
true.
get
Sony
it.
and Nintendo like have like are reliable for doing like, oh, if the game's a month or two out, here's
Yeah.
this 20-30 minute thing
Sure.
of this. Like Microsoft doesn't really have that in place. Like
Yeah.
in such a yeah.
When they decide
So, like,
to announce
if I knew
the
they
date,
had that, then I'd be like, oh, we'll get that later. But like, so I'm in agreement with you. Like we didn't see nearly enough. Like we have a general idea that like this is about them again. But like we spent 2 trailers like, hey Chief, you're alive. Like so how do those two tie together? Did you like get rid of it or what's going on? So I feel you on that point.
Hey, Chief, let's talk. Why not?
When they decide to announce the date, that is when you will see
That's the alarming part.
the
That
big
didn't get a
CGI for the
My beer
story.
is boiling, by the way. It is hot out here. If you see sweat on any of us, it's like 100 degrees.
Told you we're outside.
But Greg, what is before we move on from Halo? What is the bet again?
If Whiskey and a Cigar, I say it comes out in 2022. You
I
say
said
it comes out
2021. Okay, so that's our Halo bet. Keep us to it. Anyways.
What if half comes out? What if multiplayer slips or something?
Ooh, that's a good point.
Then you guys have to buy. You guys have to
We split
drink it
the
on,
bottle.
a
and-
half bottle on camera.
Then the meat buys us both.
Deal.
If it's split, the
Deal,
meat
that's
buys
fine.
us both.
I will.
whiskey and
What
cigar.
I'll do is I'll go to my bar in my basement and whatever's open is theirs.
Okay, so there's a lot more here. I'm flying to the end of this here because I don't personally care about all this. Some is cool, whatever. Diablo 2 remaster coming to Xbox. Cool.
cares?
The new Plague Tale. Actually, the first one was a
Actually
really good
piqued
game.
a lot of our interest.
This looks cool, yeah.
Plague Tale
It did
piqued our
look really
interest, so that's cool.
Plague Tale was sweet.
We've seen Far Cry 6 for like 8 days, it feels like.
was upsetting.
We saw more gameplay. They had a whole event, Ubisoft.
Stop it.
Why are we still seeing it on Bethesda's event?
I've seen it
Because
enough.
Microsoft's just doing
Whatever.
FU money to get stuff.
I have
That's all
a
they're
reason
doing.
for that. We'll discuss it afterwards, but I have a reason for why.
That's how we're going to close the video.
Yeah, I have a
After Far Cry 6, we saw Slime Rancher. That was
banger.
cool, I guess. Shredder was after that. Whatever.
Wait, what?
Shredder?
Shredders was the snowboarding game.
Snowboarding
Oh.
game.
Dude, shred, bruh.
That
Greg
why?
didn't even remember it.
Trying to restore the feeling. 1080,
SSX, bring it back.
SSX, you know what I mean? Come on now.
Was SSX a PlayStation exclusive though?
No,
It was
everything.
It was
EA.
on both. So after Shredder, we got Atomic Heart, whatever. Replaced.
One of those two games looked really good. I forgot which one.
I think it was Replaced.
Replaced the one
Replaced
with the
looked good.
yeah,
Oh,
that looked
yeah,
really
'cause
good.
That was
like
with the
that
needle
kind
gun.
of
The needler.
Yeah, the needler in the
Okay.
back. Yeah, the purple.
There's no needler. There was just purple
No, but
shots being
that
shot
looked
at
cool.
them.
That looked really
Replaced
interesting.
looked pretty cool.
With like
Yeah,
the weird
yeah.
Again,
rays
indie
and
game.
stuff like that.
And Game Pass, right?
All of this is Game Pass, damn near.
That's the point.
After Shredder Replaced, your Grounded is continuing to come out of beta. They added achievements and a big spider. The Game Pass people are speaking together. Among Us is getting an update. Cool.
I think we all agree to forget that. Like, who cares now?
Yeah,
Needed it last
Ayuden
year.
Chronicles looked like a Switch game. My arm is burning.
Oh,
Jesus
that's the
Christ.
one. I think that shit looks really cool.
Age of Empire
It looked like
4.
Octopath.
Yeah, I
The
even played
Ascent,
it. but I
another
downloaded it.
Ascent. I love the Ascent.
Okay,
I
yeah,
think it's
Ascent,
really
I expect
sweet.
Ascent.
I would love for all of us to try to play it together. I think that'd be really cool.
Okay, that Age of Empires 4 was after that. Cool. The Outer Worlds 2.
There's one of my prediction that it would come.
Like, I feel like I should have
Prediction.
been more excited about Outer Worlds.
Well, they
2.
were funny with how
I
they
love-
said it.
I love the
We've
trailer,
got
though.
nothing.
It
None of
was.
this is coming. None of this is part of it.
We're just
Yeah.
announcing
I loved
the
it.
game.
Yeah,
Like-
no,
I loved
Obsidian's funny.
This was like a Fable style like trailer. Like we're just gonna
We thought it was
jokes
Fable.
all over
We
the
thought
place.
it was Fable.
I guess like my question is like, Outer Worlds 2 is one of those games where I'm like, oh yeah, that game was really good. Like, surprised us all. Did anyone finish it? Like here,
I didn't even
NA,
play it.
Like 2, like
It was
I
tough
was
to play
actually
because
gonna try to
Does
play
it
it.
slap?
because
I
people
played
really
like
good.
half of
Only
it.
heard good
I
things.
played
Everybody
half of
says
it.
it's good, but is
Yes.
it good like a 5 to 7 good, or was
No,
it
no, 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 no.
like,
We're talking like
actually
8, 9,
in that
8,
tier.
9,
Okay,
good.
well, no, I was
from
asking.
what
I didn't
played,
play
it was
it.
8-9, but it was like I didn't play it all. I just kind of quit.
A lot of the customization in the beginning is very D&D like, so I know a lot of D&D players were like really excited for this game.
But that's an
with
easy game to
customization.
put down
But
and
then,
come back
but the second
to.
of all, like the I think the characters that a lot of people like. This is just me like halfway
Personally,
through.
yeah.
A lot of people like the characters that you bond with. And then it's just got like a humorous overall type of
What do you mean by bond?
right. It's really fun. It's really fun.
But like, is that like a? I feel like it's kind of like a middle of the road. Like, it's a really good game. I
You
just
didn't
don't know
need to
if it has
announce
the
it.
audio.
It's Obsidian's second team doing it.
No,
too,
they should
right?
have announced it. That's
Yeah.
like the type of things they need to announce. I'm just wondering, like, I almost
need more?
forgot about it. I don't know why. I think it was a good announcement. I'm just wondering if it's a big hit.
Well,
like, if it's
I
gonna
think
hit.
for them it's big
I think
because
they
they
want
finally
it
have
to
the
be.
publishing.
I hope
Yeah,
it becomes
they want
a
it to
big
be.
hit.
Because I know there was an
Yeah.
article that said that one of the director said like the first game was like his dream game to make. So like,
And
I
it
think,
turned out
like,
good.
Yeah, and it
turned out
was well
good. It
received
worked.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
This
So I
is
think
like-
they
it's
want
well
it to be a
received.
It's a
killer
quick
franchise.
turnaround. Quick turnaround.
So before we get into the final two games, the next game there was Flight Simulator is coming to Xbox.
I'll try it for
Cool.
sure. I'll try it. For
Top
the
Gun
graphics,
DLC, cool. It'll probably explode your Xbox.
yeah. You get to be Maverick and/or Goose. Come on.
So we get to the end of the show.
Is that just
Last
my
two.
time? Not. Yeah. Am I too old?
No, you're not too old. We
Okay.
I'll be
understand that.
Maverick. You be Goose.
I'll die. It's fine.
Xbox.
We're talking about video
Spoilers-
games.
spoilers
Video games,
for the
video
movie.
Games, video games. Nobody's dying in real life. Before we
Oh
get
man, this is so
banned.
hot.
The next second to last game was Forza Horizon. It's in Mexico. It looked great. My problem with this announcement that we've known about, this seemed like it got the most focus out
Yeah.
of any game
Should've
that
been
they
in the middle.
showed. Again, you could have swapped Halo here. You could have
Yeah.
even opened with it.
Yep.
And me and Amit both looked at each other. Rob said it too. They have to focus on this
It's their
because they
first-
need to show the power of the Xbox One X.
Not just that though. It's their biggest release for Xbox before Halo comes out. Nothing else has been
It's
bigger
they
besides
had a
this.
date, yeah.
So you have a
Might
date.
be their only big release in 2021.
Well, I mean, a bottle of whiskey says differently, but
So Amit's in on the bet now. So Forza, I mean, I like Horizon. It's a racing game. It's cool. It's not motorsport, which is probably their next one in 2 years.
Yeah, Mexico has a lot of different environments, which is
Right.
sweet. Like England, it was like
Mexico
the cool
is
thing
known
about
for street racing. So
yeah, 4 was in England, and England was seasons. It wasn't different environments. It was, oh, here's the winter, here's the fall, here's the spring.
Here's the spring,
Let's see
yeah.
the season. Like in Mexico, you get different environments. You get rainforests, you get deserts, you get cities, you get mountains, you get rooms. Like that's cool.
and you once got like food poisoning in Mexico,
I
right?
have gotten.
Yes.
I don't like to.
So the DLC
I don't like to
will give you
slander
food
Mexico.
poisoning.
I love Mexico City. I'd go visit there in a
and
second.
the car with the fart cannon is a perfect
Yeah. That's
intro to Forza.
It's great.
Anyways,
Don't slander Mexico.
It
So-
looked pretty though.
it looked,
really
yeah, all the
good.
Horizons look pretty, even on 360.
It looked insane.
What's his name came out at the
Phil
end.
Spencer.
Phil Spencer comes out,
My boy.
and none of us are sure what they're going to close with because there's 15 minutes left. He announces that it's this open world, single or co-op. Bethesda, we're working on it. Yeah, he said open world. So it's called Redfall. It's like a vampire.
It's Back for Blood with vampires.
No, it's vampire
If it
Borderlands.
is, god damn it. If it is, I'll be
It
so
is
pissed.
Not.
It's
yeah.
literally vampire Borderlands.
We have too many Back for Blood styles.
They showed a 15 minute CGI. You see a lot of shooting, you see the power of each
Magic and
character.
shit.
You see the vampire, you see the boss, and then at the end of it, you see like somebody manipulating the world, and then that's it. In my opinion, you were better off closing with Halo because of the montage.
I agree with that.
I understand you need to show and prove that your Bethesda acquisition is working on a new game that isn't Fallout, but you, even if it wasn't a new game in an older series, you could have showed us a game in the Bethesda world, a new game in the Bethesda world from a series we already had.
Wolfenstein 3, maybe.
You could have.
You could have. You could do a lot of different things.
But
yeah.
you wouldn't have closed with it. Like, no matter what Bethesda shows, you shouldn't have closed with it.
No, I agree.
Bethesda shouldn't have
Halo or
closed.
Starfield should have been the closer.
That's-
like if Greg's big thing of the whole conference was a date for Starfield, that should close the show. Because it's like, here's what we have at the end of 2021 date, right? Or 2022, excuse me. Here's the end of 2022. So this press conference
What was it?
should have been
July 2022?
November 11th,
It was November?
2022.
Oh, yeah,
so
it
it could have been
was
like,
November
11,
hey, we're starting
22.
with. You could have started with Forza. Forza was the only one.
11 plus 11 equals 22. Some fun math for you.
Different.
Addition is fun, kids.
No, you could have started. I think
Chestnut
you
checkers.
could have started this.
That's not.
You know what? Forza is the only one with the developer type of like talking or anything.
I would've
like
opened with that. I'm gonna be
You could have
honest.
started
I would've
with
opened with
Forza and
Forza.
just being like, okay, cool, Forza, blah blah, and then just do game.
Redfall should have been in the middle.
Redfall is
If
the middle
Halo is
show.
your big name
Yep.
exclusive that is coming out, although the montage was the best part of it, obviously, I'm hyped to end the show with that montage. I'm okay with it.
Here's the-
Rob
I
is
think-
not.
I disagree.
I think that Microsoft was trying to be too cute and being like only the smartest people are watching this and all of us are the smartest because they know Deathloop is coming. So they wanted to do like a counterpunch to Deathloop being like Deathloop's going to be on PS5. So we're going to show this brand new game that's going to be Xbox only. But the thing is the average consumer doesn't know that Deathloop is an arcane thing coming to PS5 only for a whole year, whatever. They don't know this stuff. So I think they're trying to be too cute, too smart.
I think Bethesda shot themselves in the foot by not announcing, and I predicted they would, and I know it's just my prediction, but like burying Deathloop, burying Ghostwire Tokyo, games that are coming out this year, Sony makes 30% on those. Who makes the rest? Bethesda. Like,
Capitalize on it.
like show your game.
Just say Deathloop's
Yeah, but
coming
you
in
don't-
2022.
You don't show a game at a
and
Sony game
show,
at a Microsoft
show Deathloop,
conference.
show Ghostwire Tokyo, be like, hey, yeah, these are coming on PlayStation, but these are our games. And play these if you want. Like, no one's buying a PlayStation 5 because of those games.
No.
But hey, if you have one and you have an Xbox, play those and say like, this is what we offer. This is the stuff Bethesda offers. And if you want the rest of our shit, you're gonna have to get an Xbox. Like, sell yourself on PlayStation. Don't just pretend like they don't exist.
That's where I'm mad with
Sell
That's
your
the thing. I
games.
think they're trying to be
Sell
too
them.
smart, too cute with this ending.
Those two games would have been awesome to show over Stalker for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And slime
there was
fucker
a bunch of
going
slime
off.
fuckers.
I don't know.
Rob, you close with your thought on how they ended, because we've done a lot of
So
unhappiness.
So I
Craig, you want to switch seats?
I understand where everyone's coming from because Halo did get the biggest pop from us, but I think pacing is important. I think if you end with that, you're like, that's how you ended? We already knew about Halo. Like, you're gonna be disappointed in ending with Halo, like, because that's what we knew about. We all wanted, even when Phil came out, we're like, okay, what's the one last thing? If we don't get a one last thing, you're underwhelmed. It was lose-lose regardless, you know what I mean? Like, with the same thing with the Starfield thing, it's like, oh, Starfield. Like, I do think Starfield might have been able to close off what it did because it's further out, but because of the fact that they only gave us a CGI trailer, I think that's why they didn't close with that, because it's like, you didn't even show us anything.
It would have been Fable all over again.
Yeah, exactly. So like, I get what you guys are saying because Halo undeniably was the most exciting part of that conference, but you definitely can't close with that. I don't think you can close with Halo.
So is the problem that we're running into for E3 being remote and everybody having access, which I think, again, it's been great for indies, but again, going back to that talent show thing I talked about, everybody has a stage, maybe you shouldn't use it, but like,
The lack of
Gearbox
piano is what you're
having
talking
their
about.
own stage
There's-
and
what was it, breathtaking?
announcing all their stuff on their set. You know, all these smaller Koch and Gorilla, like some of these guys where there's big games that are being announced in their own showcase, and these are headliners for a showcase. Those are games that would normally be middle tier, like middle of the show. Whoa, oh, and Tiny Tina's Wonderland is coming out. That'd be a mid Microsoft announcement, right?
Right.
In the middle.
But
cool.
instead you show
New
Far Cry
Gearbox.
6 3 times.
But we're gonna pretend like this is like the keynote to a Gearbox conference that sucks. Like it was.
sucks.
It was horrible. Gearbox was horrible.
Taking your word for it, I didn't see.
Like the only thing.
But that's why I don't watch Thursday and Friday.
But if those games are slid in like they used to be into,
it's just as
Xbox-
bad.
No, it's not just as bad.
No.
It's 10 times better.
Yeah.
Because
You don't
like,
get the-
he's saying like, don't take.
Oh,
all
I
your
thought you-
small
I'm-
things,
I
take the big things from
misinterpreted.
those and put them into
The
bigger
bangers
conferences.
from the Thursday and
From the-
Friday,
just
you
put 'em
get
in
one
Saturday.
banger
But you know what, though?
and a bunch of small stuff no one cares about.
But
So
it's all
everyone
about
says those are bad.
But it's all about money.
Yeah, it's all deals and
we're
stuff.
starting
You
to get
save
into
money
deals now.
doing your
This is
own
one
thing.
thing. Like Jeff Keighley's presentation was really good. Jeff Keighley wants to be the gold standard of what everything's like, and every year his press conference gets better and better. He had more stars on his thing with like Ryan Reynolds and Jeff Goldblum. Next year's even gonna be bigger for him, right? Like his his performance, his presentation is getting bigger and bigger, and they're gonna start taking away those big things for him because he's getting the money to do that stuff. Where I think that's where is the counterpunch is you can't have all those bangers in this because even though Microsoft has the money, there's someone for a specific game that will pay a little bit more, and
be
we'll get
in
it
the
to
spot,
to their presentation now. As we get more digital and digital, even though E3 is going to be
That's
in
the
person
problem
next
with
year,
digital, yeah.
please send us there. We're going
Send
to
us E3 tickets.
Yeah,
That shit.
yeah. We're going to. We'll fly ourselves. Just get us in.
No, hell no. Just send us plane tickets too. What do you
No,
mean?
but I think that while he's going to be digital, he's going to get these people to do digital stuff, and he's going to get, his thing's going to get bigger, whereas they're going to take away stuff. Like Elden Ring being at Xbox and Elden Ring kind of had a partnership before. And now what happens? Keighley comes in, he gets it to close his game. Elden Ring in the middle of this thing, or ends it, is crazy, right? But you can't get that now because because more people are going digital, more people are throwing their money at that rather than paying the ESA.
That's
for
exactly
E3 money.
that's exactly my point. Like it's making E3 worse. Like the digital nature of it, it makes it nice because like everything is here
It's
at one time.
convenient, yeah.
It's all on demand. You can pick and choose what you want to see, but like you don't get those like huge conferences where it's front to back
Yeah.
game. The PlayStation 2017-18 conference, where every single game you just were like, wow. Like you won't get those anymore. It kind of stinks. And I think even next year when we go back to in-person floor, hands-on games, Ubisoft keeps doing their forwards where they have 3 or 4 a year
their
of
thing now.
digital
Yeah,
stuff
it's their
instead
thing
of the
now.
big things. State of Play did that. They're done. Sony's never coming back with
No,
live in-person.
they're not doing
conference.
that. No.
Well, yeah, no, they've
For
been
E3.
separate.
Well, they're
for a
going to save
while.
the money to
Yeah,
pay for
exactly. You
exclusive
save
stuff
Yeah,
rather
they'll do
than
their state of plays.
Put the money else.
giving it to E3. Yeah,
But it's just
it's nature of the beast. It stinks.
Yeah.
E3's dead.
E3 has been on the way out though, even before COVID and all that. But if we had to give, I guess, Microsoft and Bethesda their scale grading 1 through 10, 10 being the highest, Greg, what do you give it? We're going with Greg first so we don't get the dramatics at the end of the video.
He said dramatic.
Yes,
Seven.
he has our job.
So- okay,
6.87.
7, it's higher than I thought you'd give it. I think,
It's not a failing grade.
No, not at
yeah,
all.
no. I don't think, I think 7, 8 would be for me. It wasn't too high, it wasn't too low. It hit the check boxes of everything you expected. But nothing but a Halo montage, which every year wows me.
I think
Except
it's one of
last
the
year wowed me.
most one of the more underwhelming Xbox conferences in a while.
There was nothing announced that you were shocked about, and
Yeah.
it made you really happy or excited.
Yeah, I'm at 7.5. I think last year's was better because they showed me like the future is fucking bright. And it's gonna be amazing, right? Like seeing Avowed,
Especially for
seeing
Game Pass.
Fable.
Game Pass is
Even
bright.
I saw no gameplay, but I'm excited for Avowed. I'm excited for Fable. Like Halo right now was better than last year, but we still got no gameplay, right? But I was more hyped this time than I was last time. So yeah, I'm at 7.5. I'm just excited because I am a champion of Game Pass, and I think this was the best
Game Pass
commercial for Game
conference,
Pass
yeah.
that you can have. In terms of commercial for Game Pass, it's a 10. In terms of just what they showed me, 7.5.
So, I mean, do you think, like, I think the way you described it was perfect, whereas last year, Xbox gave a plan for the future. This year, Xbox gave a plan for the next 12 months.
Yeah, I agree.
And
I agree.
the plan for the
Or 18
future
months, yeah,
is
18
much
months.
more exciting.
Much more.
Like, the next 18 months might be the worst Xboxes ever again. Like, if
True.
if
Ever
they
again, yes.
yes
Ever
if they,
again, yeah.
after 18 months, once these new studios start going big and start producing big games, we may never have an Xbox as bad as it is now.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying, like, it only goes up from here if they deliver. And that's why last year announcing that bright future really outshines the, hey, like, here's what you have to get through to get to the point where we take off. Well,
Yeah, no, you
No,
gotta
it's fair. He's
But again,
right.
but again,
He's right.
remember this started again as the resident like super Xbox fan on thing. Like this all started when Phil took over, right? And there was a plan from Phil from the beginning.
He put
and
his mouth where his money
yes,
is.
and I love that Greg said it. This is the worst that Xbox will show, and this is the worst that Xbox is going to show for the coming future. That's huge. A C
could've
grade
been so much
for
worse,
your
right.
bottom scraping barrel for the future. That's ginormous leaps of where we were in 2013. So I'm just super excited for the future, and I think C is passing and it's average, and I'm just so excited to what we see next E3 because we're gonna see Starfield and we're gonna see even more.
I just realized I don't know if Greg's face is even in the scene.
no, it is.
It is? Okay.
I'm on the
Yeah,
Rob,
it's just reflection.
your grade.
So yeah, I guess I'm gonna be the most generous and give it an 8.
I said 7.8. What do you mean?
Well, he said average C. and stuff.
7.8 or 7.8?
7 or an 8.
Yeah, so like I'm in agreement with Amit when he talks about Game Pass and like the foreseeable future with the previous conference, and I think what this does, because I think when I talk about this one, when I was talking about it before, I was always like, I want them to do what Sony did in 2015 or 16. I don't remember the year, but like they had Spider-Man, they had God of War, they had Final Fantasy, like they had everything for the next 3 to 5 years, and then like they just kept coming out.
It came out and
you know
you
what
were
I mean?
satisfied.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And so like I was like, okay, Microsoft has these studios, they announced all these things. I want to see all those things so we know what the next entire generation of Xbox is going to be, pretty much. You know what I mean? And we didn't get that, and I think that's disappointing. But I also think because I do this thing when I'm on the internet that's real toxic. I take the bait a lot. You know what I mean?
A little bit. We have better sites than that, Robert.
Problematic. It takes too long to load. I don't like ads. Anyways, so
Everybody needs that site.
so
Oh, the mic didn't pick that up.
so
Sponsor us.
no, but
Send us the E3.
oh man, the PH shirts on.
The virtual reality section, yeah.
Oh my god.
Whoa. Okay, this is taking a turn.
But
Rob, continue.
yeah.
Cut
So
and splice.
anytime anything,
No, we're keeping this.
Anytime anybody drops any news, Xbox news, positive news, I go to the replies, and all the replies say is, "Where are the games though? There's no games. Cool. I don't give a shit. There's no game." Like, and it's like these are.
Rob's in the comments too, like
No,
egging it on.
I just read it like roll my eyes because I'm like, quality of life features are important. Like,
Absolutely.
people
True.
have been like complaining about like petty stuff on PlayStation that I don't think is that important, but they've been complaining about it. It's like
my tail.
stuff is like it's important. It matters. And so this conference, everything that they showed was 2022 or before. So it's like, hey guys, sure, our crazy huge hits aren't here yet, but
But they've got
here
some
are
current
games.
plans.
Yeah.
Current
Here
plans.
are games that
Current.
are only going to be here.
Yep.
And like me said, I don't think I'm the indie guy, but I'm willing to try an indie if it looks cool. I've had more impactful experiences with some indie games than AAA games.
Yeah.
So like,
True.
sure,
PS3 exclusive. Great game.
Great game. Celeste is a 10, dog. Celeste is fire. Play Celeste. It is on Game Pass. Like, these games, just because they don't look photorealistic or because they're not fucking big blockbusters, they still have value and merit.
There are still games with value.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like, any of these games that are indies aren't gonna shake you out of your seat, but you might play them and they might change your life. Like, straight up, like that. Like Celeste, again, I always go back to it. I played it at like the perfect time for what I was going through in life.
Not just that, more affordable, easier to get through in terms of commitment and hours. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, so like when I see this whole thing, it's like, okay, cool, 2022. Like watching this, I'm like, oh shit, we've all been talking about a drought. There's gonna be a lot of shit to play in 2022.
There's stuff you can check out.
There's a lot of stuff to play in 2022, and a lot of it we don't know. And again, I understand the skepticism because, like, you know, like with Sony, like it's like, oh, we know because we've seen them deliver. We don't know. So I get the skepticism, but I also feel like there's reason to be optimistic, to like know that the immediate future does have things to explore. Like we always talk about, oh yeah, like is Game Pass worth it? I'm not even downloading anything. Try some things out, and then maybe you'll find out that it is worth it. So that's what I gathered from the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even the last game, like so many times we've had conversations about what we want to see, and we're always like, new IPs, new IP. Like, you know what I mean? Like they gave it to you. Like, I don't know. We don't know yet if it'll be great or not, but like they clearly see something special in it. Yeah. So for me, I think it's just one of those things where it's like, this wasn't like jump out of your seat exciting, but I think it answered the problem that's now. Like, sure, we can sit there, they could have given us all those bangers and stuff and be like, they're coming soon, and people will be like, well, when soon, Microsoft?
Then they'd really be mad.
You know what I'm saying?
Then they'd really be mad.
People are already mad with the Halo saying holiday 2020. We had a discussion about that.
I was mad. Like,
soon, we know that's soon.
So like they could have given us a bunch of coming soons on games that we cared about way more.
But they actually gave dates for majority of what they announced.
Everything they had a 2022 on it, if not something in 2021.
Some had 2021.
So that's the reason why I'm like, I think they had to take this approach, because it's like when every single thing they could be like, Microsoft just said they're helping people who are blind with this feature. Where are the games though? Yeah. Like literally, like everything I go on. So like this to me answered that part of it. Here are a bunch of games.
The thing is, I think with Microsoft is, there are the games, but it's like, when do we get the God of Wars, the Ghost of Tsushimas, the Horizons? And that question, I don't think it was possible for them to answer this year.
No, but Halo is going to be one of their answers. Unless you're talking about third-person adventure, but Halo is one of the Microsoft's
they want Halo to be one of
them. They hope it is.
Is one of their answers.
Again, they hope it is, and I hope so too. I'm just saying, like, in terms of that question, though, again, I'm defending them here. Like, we talk about all the time, and maybe not on the show as much as between each other. 2022, 2023 is when these studios really start clicking, and by then is when they have to be competing with Sony in terms of quality.
Absolutely.
Consistent quality by 2022, 2023. If you come out in 2021, you can't just sit there and be like, here's these ideas we have for 2022, 2023, late, that's going to compete with Sony, and stake your ground in that. You have to do what Rob said and just say, here's what we got.
Yeah.
Here's what we got, and it's on Game Pass, the best deal in gaming. Come get it. Like, this is what's out there.
The ideas
can't compete with Sony now for games you don't have now. You have to compete in your own way, and you have to compete in the Game Pass.
Which you guys know that, like, I think I've been consistent on this. And I think we're all in there that the mid-gen to the end to the end of the generation is really when, if they're going to catch up, that's when they will catch up. Is at the very end of this generation.
Could be a dogfight.
Yeah, it could be. But right now, I think we all agree Sony has the top tier AAA first party games.
Yeah.
And Xbox has to catch up. And the biggest things that Greg and Santino have been saying is always like, show me the games and tell me when they're coming so I know when to expect it. Let's see gameplay. Right? And we still don't have that, and I totally agree with you guys.
Nothing shown today.
And I totally agree with you guys still on that.
There's not a single thing that.
But I'm more optimistic. I'm so more optimistic towards the mid-gen. I don't need to say show it to me. I'm just like, let me know when.
That's my thing. Like, the Sony bangers didn't start coming until 2016. Like, for real. Like, sure, they had a couple, but like the ones that are like generation defining, like didn't start coming until 2016. What game?
Well, in terms of Sony exclusives, go back to PS3, guys.
I'm talking about last generation.
Oh, last gen?
Yeah, no. Yeah, you thought PS4.
It was 2015. Uncharted.
Uncharted was 16. Yeah, I'm saying 16 was when they started.
Resogun was early, but people won't agree with me on that.
I mean, I played a little bit.
You're not gonna get him with Resogun, brother.
I'll rock with him on that. But like,
Resogun was good.
So I'm saying is like, generations like when we talked about predictions, I was like, yo, Sony might have a Switch style start. The Switch start was crazy. That's not normal.
Amazing.
You know what I mean? You start with like banger, then you go like dark for a little while, then you start to
Banger,
ramp
banger,
up.
banger, banger.
Sony like last time like had like a couple like normal.
You had your
and then they-
Bloodborns, you had
And Sony
2016
had
was Bloodborne.
And Sony had an amazing ending,
Yeah.
right? They dropped Ghosts and they dropped The Last of Us 2 and Final Fantasy within like a
Remake.
6-month scan or a 6-month
That's what I'm saying.
time span,
Yeah.
right?
If we get
so
to
that's
2023
amazing.
and none of those games come out, then I'm with you guys. Like, all right, you guys are tweaking.
Right.
Well, hey, I
When is-
agree.
but when
Sony
is-
Because I think it
needs
takes
yeah.
some time.
Sony needs their first party
'Cause, yeah,
exclusive,
right.
their first party PS5 exclusive
Yeah. But
too.
if
We're not
2023
getting into the PS vlog
no,
But if
right now.
2023 is the time that they start dropping every 3 months, you're gonna get a big game from Xbox. That's gonna really catapult them, and I think that's when it's gonna start. Is there every quarter they're gonna get a big game? I think it's gonna start in 2023.
Well, just to end this as the PlayStation guy, I gotta say, the one thing Xbox didn't ever come to bat on today was matching Sony and having Final Fantasy 14, which leads us into the Square Enix conference that's gonna start for us in 3 minutes. So we gotta go and
this
check
guy
that
closed
out.
us.
Oh, he's
He's different. He closed us. That's
But
it.
thank you for joining us for our E3 Xbox Bethesda recap
up,
and what we've seen so far. I'm sure we'll have a video on post Xbox Bethesda coverage. Thanks for joining us. Way Better NPCs out.
And we out.
Send us E3.
He's different. He flawless.
Gregory.
That was flawless.